got some. I just plonked it over there for the moment.
Oh, okay.
Should I bring it over?
Well, yeah.
Okay,
If you
all
want
right.
to. I don't want you dehydrating,
Well,
darling.
I don't want to. I don't want to. You know, I don't want to spill it.
So you've got record on there. Do you need to press record on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that now.
Yeah.
Is that right? Are we in?
Yeah.
Are we on?
We're on.
Are we on? Can you see?
Yes, we're on.
Who's your mate on the front of this?
That is Goldie Hawn
Oh.
from Death
Oh, yes.
And it says, "On guard, bitch."
Nice.
I thought this mark would be appropriate for
Mm.
said conversation.
On guard.
On
Be
guard,
harsh edge.
bitch. On guard. And I had another one which is cracked but in the cupboard because I don't want to get rid of it, which is Meryl Streep that said, "Now a warning." From Death
Right.
Becomes Her.
There we go.
Favourite film.
Right.
Fun fact.
I like it.
Well, is it a fun fact or am I just showing off? Rob Zemeckis, who directed that film, produced that film, is Death Becomes Her. So he did that.
Oh.
Famous. He also did Back to the Future. Also, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So
I love that film.
He's pretty big.
Yeah.
His wife bought her hat off me. Yeah. Pretty epic. Yeah.
No.
So it's quite...
You've made it.
Well,
You've hit the big time. You've peaked.
I've got a hat in Hollywood.
Is that? Oh my god.
That's cool.
You're basically international.
International.
Yes.
Not yet a sex symbol, just international.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Gotta spread my legs a bit more.
Spread your
Hope no
wings.
children are watching this.
Yeah, imagine. Right, shall we begin?
Yes.
Let us. Mic check 1, 2. Just, are you going to be all right there? Right, okay. Yeah?
Yeah?
All right. Hello, thank you very much for joining. My name is Kylie Rea and you are listening to the Living the Life of Kylie podcast, an eclectic mix. I sort of got a bit excited to say eclectic in the middle of podcast. I'm joined today by Mr. Christopher Garner, and he is going to be talking to us today about a topic that is, well, it's taken the world by storm, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it really has. It's about the drag ban in Tennessee, and really what that means to people. I'm going to start off by saying that this very much is a culture war.
A culture war.
That we can very much see in the UK as well as in the US.
Okay. Chris is the resident drag queen in Maidstone for MuMu's.
Yeah.
MuMu, sorry. Is it MuMu or MuMu's?
Well, you can say it however
Is there a
you want.
plural? There's more than one Mu?
Sorry, this is the life of Kylie. You can do whatever you want, darling. It's your life.
I'm going to call it shoo-shoos.
Call it shoo-shoos. I'm going to call it shoo-shoos. But for those of you that want to know, it's MuMu, M-U-M-U.
Don't go looking for somewhere else entirely. So this is why it's sort of... can I even speak today? This is why it is obviously something very high on your
radar.
On your radar.
Yeah.
It's affecting your industry. Well, one of your industries. Of course, you are a very skilled milliner as well.
Yes.
By day, but by night,
I'm a drag queen. It's mainly affecting my community rather than drag is a huge industry, but it is very much affecting the community, because from these things we see a rise of hate crimes towards people within our community. And I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks back, a drag queen in the UK who is currently recovering from a broken knee surgery got attacked by a group of men because he was a drag queen.
Oh, for goodness sake.
And that's in the UK, and the whole bill has been passed in the US. So it really is, it's a huge culture war, and what happens in the US seems to translate to the UK.
Yes.
Bizarrely.
Like what? So you mentioned a minute ago, like hate crimes and stuff like this. Why is the bill that has been passed in America not classed as a hate crime?
Well,
that very act alone, to me,
it does actually infringe on a lot of human rights, and it also infringes on the people of America's freedom of speech.
Okay.
And to a lot of people, performance is a freedom of speech. So let's go to the bill. So basically, the bill says that you cannot perform in a public space without a cabaret license.
So almost like if you put it into my not normal terms,
Okay.
if I wanted to start selling alcohol on the street,
You
I
would
would have
need
to
a
have a
license,
license.
correct.
So I have to do that to do that.
Correct, which is understandable. If you are going to, do something, and the government says you need a license, you need a license, that's fair enough. However, what they are saying is that drag queens are grooming children, drag queens are abusing and molesting children, and it's all come from a thing called Drag Queen Story Hour. So what Drag Queen Story Hour is you've got a drag queen dressed in full drag who will read a child-friendly book. And that child-friendly book is very much about, it will predominantly be about being whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
That's what the book will be about.
Okay.
So I was given a book called Julian is a Mermaid.
Yeah.
The reason why it was called Julian's Mermaid, my middle name's Julian.
Yeah.
The person that gave it to me, I used to work with in regards to my hats, Julian Garner headwear.
Yes.
So the books would be very much about how you can be whatever you want in life. Now, these events are run by libraries.
Yes.
They run by educational centres.
So they're in the community.
Correct. And a drag queen will come and read the stories. Now, at these stories will be mothers with their young children.
Choosing to go
to these events.
Right.
Now, these events aren't adult orientated at all.
No.
At all.
Right.
And then what's happening is people are saying that drag queen or those drag queens that are doing that are grooming the children. They putting their lifestyle onto the child. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
If it was a dentist story time, and the dentist would come in and do the story time, would they then say that the dentist is grooming the child?
Of course not. Hence why.
But why? Why does it?
So
I mean, I can understand.
Yeah, of course.
They're not comparable, of course. But
it's so ridiculous. This whole thing with grooming children. If you look at, I saw this thing on Instagram. I will try and find the tag for you. But literally, this person is doing a weekly arrest of children abuse just in their town, and all of them are men, predominantly in religion.
Oh, okay.
So
by that rationale...
That's gone off, does that matter?
Oh, no, we can take the audio from this, that's fine. We're not going to go on YouTube. Oh, yes, I can. Jen, we're going to need you to do this.
I can crop it into
So, by that rationale, if, for example... Well, you could say that church... And it's story time, religious story hour.
Absolutely.
So there's a man standing at the front.
Jesus in a dress, sat to children, which is a picture that we've all seen before.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus sat with this lovely angelic child sat on his lap, reading a story. All of the cherubs
and all of this.
Correct. So it's, that's where it's all come from. And then unfortunately what has happened is there have been promoters who have created brunches which are child-friendly brunches, and then there have been the odd performer that has come and done their act, be it in a thong, a thong with high heel boots, doing a chair dance where they're doing acrobats on this chair. Now, yes, okay, if I were to run a show, it would definitely not be child-friendly.
Yeah.
If I were to be booked for a show where children would be involved, I would 100% tone my material down.
You would amend it for the audience.
Exactly. Now, again, there's two sides to this. So, first of all, there are mothers and parents who are choosing to take their kids to their show.
Yes.
So, as their legal guardian is saying, I am giving you the consent to come to this show and watch it. Now, at these events, no kids are being touched, no kids are being killed, no kids are leaving there screaming.
Have there been any reports of a drag artist abusing a child after that child has been at one of their events?
To my knowledge, no.
No, yeah,
to my knowledge, no. I'm not saying that, we're perfect.
No.
I'm not saying that, that stuff doesn't happen. But you're literally
part of
tarring
it.
everyone with the same brush. So that's where this has started. It started from Drag Queen Story Hour, which is an amazing thing. And what really shocks me is somewhere like Tennessee, where this bill has actually been passed, is where education is really low. It's where children actually don't get a good education because of where they live. So the people who are passing this bill are predominantly Republicans, hence where the culture war comes in. They think to themselves, oh my God, how am I going to get the next vote? Okay, this is how I'm going to get the next vote, is I'm going to distract people by going, look over there, as RuPaul says, look over there. We'll distract them with something else, and then we will get the religious voter in, because there are lots of religious voters, and we will, win the race. I mean, it's really, really shocking. And in the UK, there is a Drag Queen Story Hour. And again, if you go online and you see these things, these people are protesting. And sometimes there is not even a drag queen at the story hour. There is just someone reading a book.
I've seen a clip of this. You shared this on your social media.
So literally, these people have turned up, being like,
they're like, you're abusing our children.
You're abusing, you're grooming, and it's like,
we're reading Harry Potter at the minute, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and let's not go to Harry Potter with all the Francis route. Because that's like a whole other kettle of fish.
Right, I didn't say that. I don't want to be cancelled before I've even subscribed.
But I mean, what these things do is they then have an effect on people in the LGBTQI community, where the hate crimes rise, and it's so damaging. I mean, if something like that got passed in the UK, I don't think it would last very long. I don't think it would ever get passed.
Well, no, because I think it's so ridiculous, in my opinion. It's just, I can't get my head around it. What is it that they are putting on this community that they think... I can't even get my words to explain what I'm trying to say. What is it that they are trying to do to the community? Are they trying to restrict you all? Are they trying to...
Well, funny enough, actually,
control?
There's a man called Michael Knowles who is a political commentator, and this is in the US, at an event, I don't know if it's a rally or some form of political speaking conference, he actually says to the crowd that trans people should be eradicated. That's dangerous, and he says it to an arena of people who all applaud and clap. Now, what trans people are going through at the moment is really, really unfair. I mean, trans people have been around for so many years. We now live, as my partner always says, we now live in a society where we've moved on so far. Unfortunately, what's happened is, as we move as a society forwards, stupid comes along with us.
Right.
And what I mean by stupid is the people who aren't willing to sit down with a trans person. They aren't willing to pick up a book about trans people.
No, because they just see it.
They just see it as, you're a freak, you are an abomination to God, you are not normal, you're not natural. And it's so stupid. And I think that is, it really frustrates me when I hear people that go, I'm so sick and tired of being called a cisgender person. And I'm like, cisgender it was a term coined in 1994. It came about very much in 2015 because the trans issue was very much on a rise. And cisgender is basically, cis means on the same side as, on the same side of, which is like Latin.
Okay.
So that means that when you were born, you still identify as a female in your case, in my case, as a male. Transgender is someone who wants to transition from the birth they were born as into something else. So if you got transgender, the reason why that word was created is because you want the people...
transform.
Well, you want the people who aren't going to transform to also have a term, and that term is cisgender. So when people...
Because otherwise people would be then complaining that, we haven't got a term.
What about me? Exactly. So, you need to make everyone happy. And then when people say things like, when a trans person says to a person, you should understand your woman privilege, that's not them saying like, what you go through as a woman on a daily basis with misogyny, with the, the unequal rights, with harassment, with rape, with periods, with what goes with the biology of being a woman. That doesn't mean that they are saying that, we want that too, because let's face it, no one wants that.
No, of course
We're not taking that away. The trans person's not taking that away from that woman. What they're most probably saying is, do you know how lucky you are to be born in the body that you wanted? So they were born a boy, but they want to be a girl, and they look at a woman as, a thing of kind of envy. And there are people who have actually admitted to that, like trans people who are kind of in the limelight, who are trans advocates and kind of people to look up to, have actually admitted that. I mean, there's a person called it's a Dylan Murphy. Lovely Dylan Murphy, and basically there was this whole...
I love so
it is
much.
Dylan Murphy, right?
Mulvey and
Mavani. Oh God, I need to just make sure I get this. So they're absolutely wonderful.
I know.
And
day 365 of girlhood, isn't it?
Correct.
I love that.
Of being a girl. I think it is Malvani. Yeah, Malvani. I believe. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
No, it's not. You're wanting to name check correctly.
Correct, but it's still Dylan Mulvaney. So basically, there was this whole tampon debacle.
Oh yes. Did
you hear about this tampon debacle? I did. And a non-binary person got contacted by Tampax to say, could you please do, and I believe they're a Murphy, not a Mulvaney. I can't remember their name. Anyway, non-binary, contacted by Tampax to say, could you do an advert for us? Which basically shows you holding a box of Tampax. Talking about being non-binary. Now, non-binary includes woman. Includes women who don't identify as female, a girl, a woman. They identify as a them, they.
Right.
So it's a way of saying a non-binary person who has a lot of followers, who has a huge platform, saying to these people, just because you're non-binary, you're not stigmatised.
But I have a question on that. I'm not sure if I'm understanding. This non-binary person was born man?
Non-binary person is born man.
Right.
Is, biologically...
Man.
A man.
Right.
But identifies as them, they.
Okay.
Right.
If I was non-binary... Can I be non-binary?
You can be non-binary if you feel that you identify as a them, they.
A them, they.
And non-binary very much comes from the energy. Some days I have days where I feel very feminine. And some days I have days where I feel very masculine. For someone who is non-binary, those days are huge. They're not
moments.
Not like moments, they're huge.
Okay.
So if you have days where you feel
I could identify as non-binary. If Tampax came to me, I identify as non-binary, I have the female reproductive system.
Correct.
Why would they go to a non-binary person who was born as a man and give them a box of Tampax, which wouldn't be relevant to them?
So their argument was to stop the stigmatism of what periods mean and how periods make people feel and what people feel as, a period being disgusting. Because let's face it, people do view periods as being... I
mean, they're not walking the park, mate. They're not fun.
They're not fun, exactly. So, but that's not taken away from a woman.
No.
Because you can never, ever take that away from a woman.
No.
You couldn't. Now...
But I don't understand why they would ask... Why didn't they ask me? I'm non-binary over here.
I don't get it.
And I use them.
I don't get that.
Do you know what I mean?
However, Dylan Mulvaney did a post where he was attacked. Where she was attacked. About carrying a tampon in her purse.
Okay.
Now, the reason why she carries a tampon in her purse is because if they're never going to use it,
someone might need it.
Someone might need it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a gay person. My boyfriend and I have tampons in our spare bathroom in case we have a guest that needs them.
Well, that's just considerate and kind.
Exactly. And now, Dylan's point is very much like, what's the difference between your boyfriend running out, getting you tampons, making sure you have tampons, and you just moved into his apartment, he's giving you a drawer. You would run to your friends and be like, oh my god, this is so amazing. Look what it does for me. So what's the difference between your boyfriend doing that and a perfect stranger? Which, have you ever been in a situation where you've been in a bathroom and you've been like, does anyone have a tampon?
Yeah.
And a perfect stranger's giving you one?
There you go, yeah.
What's the difference?
It's like asking, can you pass that sachet of salt or sugar
Correct.
to put on your chips?
Correct.
You shouldn't think twice about it.
It's just kindness.
Yeah.
And why are we...
Well, I think people started looking at that and thinking, well, what's he going to do? Shove it up his ass?
Well, yeah. Now...
If you were carrying that, they think, well, what are you doing with that? You don't need that.
I also think that people shouldn't be angry at the person who's, been... I don't know if the advert was... the ad was paid. Be angry at Tampax.
Well, why be angry with anything? Does it really matter?
Does it matter? If you're trying to stop the stigmatism...
No one wants to talk about tampons in the best of light anyway, let alone drag all of this into it. It's not... It's just not... Why are we caring about this? And this is what I said to you the other day. Why do we care about this? Why does everything have to be an issue? Why does everything have to be a debate? Why does a bill need to be passed for everything? Why does everyone need to have a problem with everyone or everything? It seems that if no one has a problem, then there's something wrong.
Well, that's what governments want. They want like in-house fighting. They want us fighting against one another because that only helps them politically. So, Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party, I believe his name is Lee Anderson,
right,
was in an interview where he said, we didn't win the election. Really, it was Brexit, Boris, and Corbyn that won the election. And if you look at Brexit and Boris and Corbyn and how they were in the media and made people kind of argue, is really what got the Tories back into power. Now, he even says in this interview, well, we're going to have to pick something, I don't know, LGBTQ or trans, and look what's happening now.
Is that what he actually said?
That's what he actually says. I mean, I don't know if it's word for word, but you can see the interview online. God.
But how is it? It's fascinating that it is that premeditated, but yet it's not classed as a hate crime, hate speech.
When the government's doing it, exactly.
But if it was about religion, say for example, we've seen in history books what on earth happens there. So why is this not a? Why is this a downgraded thing, and everyone can have a completely uneducated opinion on it?
Because people view the LGBTQIA plus community as something that is a choice. They view it as something that isn't real. No. They view it as something that isn't normal because.
But why do they care? What do you mean? I just find it so baffling how people have to have such a problem. I probably don't... Right, my friend Jen, she can't have certain dietary things, and she'll have a coleslaw sandwich. I find that very confusing to me, but I let her I give her a little bit of trouble about it. I'm like, she'll have a tomato sandwich. And I'm like, but that's water in... I can't understand the concept of it, but I still just let her get on with it, and I just carry on with my day over here.
Well, do you know what I mean? My friend always says to me, if you want to call yourself a magpie, call yourself a magpie.
Yeah.
And that is why are we getting so involved in other people's lives? Why is the government in the US dictating to parents what they can and cannot do with their children?
Yes.
If it brings their children some form of creativity, some form of inspiration. Listen, I'm not saying take your child to an actual drag show where they are, swearing and pulling out a dildo and knocking on it or something like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if a child can see something that they then go, oh my God, like, what is that? Who is that?
Yeah.
That then creates sensories. That then creates
connections, and it takes away fear.
Correct. A brain where this person thinks outside the box.
Do
It's
you
not
think
just narrow.
It's because you said something a minute ago about stupid following. There is, I think there's a lot to be said for parents who are very open with their children, but it starts with the parents as children, how they are dealt with.
Absolutely.
And we're still recovering from, wartime Britain, where it's grandparents, oh, don't say that, don't say that. And,
Yeah.
So then our parents have been raised by that sort of narrative. So then it's for us to break that generation sort of mentality and start introducing this inclusivity to the cultures that are out there.
I think, yes, we're raised at home.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, we are brought up by society.
Okay.
And we are brought up by the opinions of everyone around us, our peers when we're younger, and our peers when we're older. And then you take those, things that you've heard back home, and your parents either agree with them or don't agree with them. And,
that's when I suppose it starts cracking, branching
yeah,
up a little bit.
Exactly. And slowly but surely our society has moved where, kids can be whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
And, we even talk about when people be like, so that trans girl that was killed, she's 16, was killed by two 15-year-olds. They're saying it's not a hate crime, but you can't tell me that a kid that was having trouble at school wasn't attacked by kids that just don't get it.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that's not a hate crime. That to me stinks of hate crime.
I think it is. I think it absolutely is. And I can't understand how they can rationalise that in their own mind to declassify it as
now,
I mean, what was it called then? Just murder?
Well, yeah. Now, when it comes to trans, and this is something, it's a book that I'm listening to, it's an audio book, and it's called The Trans Issue, by Shona. I'm terrible with names. I'm so bad. The trans.
No, it's good to get the name check. Check.
It's by Shon Fay. So Shon. I hope I pronounce it right. By Shon Fay, and it's a brilliant book, and it's something that I learned in this. And I'm learning even as a gay man.
Yeah.
Who is part of this community, very much still learning. And the thing that I learned was when someone starts transitioning, it can be something literally as mummy, daddy, I don't want to be called Tom anymore. Yeah. I want to be called Tammy. Okay, we're going to call you Tammy. So at home, they get called Tammy. Yeah. That is a part of transition. Wow. Transition doesn't mean the physical, lob your bits off.
I think that's what people think.
100%.
Wow.
So when people go, oh my God, there's so many young kids that are transitioning, and oh my God, like they're going to regret it when they're older. You can't have gender affirming surgery where you do undergo the full, you have your genitals created until you are of a legal age. You cannot have it done as a child.
And is this when, so say for example, we've got that Stonewall, the charity, they campaign against...
Correct. Hormone blockers?
The counselling in Harley Street, where they...
Counsel?
Is that what they... what is the name of it? Conversion
therapy. So conversion therapy is like...
Conversion therapy... No, you're not.
Yeah,
no, you're not.
Conversion therapy is not, if I'm correct, it's not nice.
No.
So it's basically when a person who... And the reason why it's not nice is because there have been loads of cases where these people have undergone torture by electricity to, drugs and castration. We're going back years.
Wow.
Where,
What, to force you to not
be... Oh. who you are. Now, like...
I can't stand that. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I think it's so... To have the audacity to say to someone, the way you think and feel is so wrong that I'm going to force you to change. How dare you try and have that much control of someone's identity?
Especially to a child.
To a child as well.
I think that's wrong.
It's really...
If an adult decides, okay, do you know what? I actually don't want to be gay, because I can guarantee you, if you ask a vast majority, maybe my age, not younger, my age around about 38, you know, their 40s, if you ask them, would you rather be straight or would you rather be gay? I can guarantee you a vast majority will say I'd actually rather be straight.
Yeah.
Because it's a fucking easier life.
Because of society.
Because of what you deal with.
What you have to go through to be accepted as you are.
Absolutely. Now, there's, you know, if, say, for example, as a 38-year-old man who is gay, went to a therapist to be like, I don't want to be gay anymore, and then I undertook that, then okay, I suppose that's my choice. But
choosing actively to seek out...
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Would that still be classed as conversion therapy?
I don't know.
If you took yourself there?
Oh, I don't know, that's a good question. It's a good question. But I mean, this is the thing as well with a lot of trans people, they do have to undergo some form of therapy.
Yeah.
They also, you know, hormone blockers are really important to children. And the reason why it's important, hormone blockers basically block your hormones from carrying out their natural thing.
Yeah.
So, for example...
But that must start quite a young age.
Well, it can do.
Yeah.
It can do.
Yeah.
Again, if the parent feels that their child should be on hormone blockers to help them, then fair enough. And now, hormone blockers actually give you time to decide if you really are, so that when you do,
and
you don't regret it.
Right, okay.
And that's what hormone blockers do. Hormone blockers aren't a thing, like, they're not a dangerous thing.
Right, okay.
I mean, again, I'm not educated on this field, but from what I've read, they actually are a thing which helps someone have time to decide.
Stops it there.
Right now,
for a minute.
You know, I know people who, when they were young, wanted to be boys.
Right, okay.
I know people, you know, when I was, you know, a young boy, I used to dress up in girls' clothes and play with dollies.
Yeah.
And I remember once defending my myself to a group of bullies, and they were like, why are you playing with dolls? Girls play with dolls. And I turned around to them and said, well, one day I might be a father, I need to change nappies.
Oh.
And that was my defence.
Oh.
Like, why are we, when it comes to kids, why are we, you know, putting so much pressure on them to be who we think they should be?
Yeah.
Why are we not just letting them grow up to be whoever they want to be?
Bloody well want to be.
Regardless of gender.
Yeah, yeah, you know, absolutely.
Regardless of gender. There are plenty of people, you know, who are straight, who work in, you know, what we would class and stereotype as a gay industry. Yeah. But in actual fact, they're straight.
Yeah.
And even they've had to, like, most probably fight a little bit. We're raised to just be this, you know...
Well, it's again, because of the wartime Britain, mum stays at home, dad goes out and does the job and comes back in. And then even women who go back to work and their father stays at home with the children, that's like, oh, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Like, because those roles are...
It's like, oh, his masculinity must have been like...
Yeah, oh, you feel really demasculine.
Yeah.
Think, well, no. It just makes sense, you know, to do that. She's ready to go. But then the mother gets judged. Why don't you want to be at home with your child?
Why don't you want to be with your kids? Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Why doesn't everyone just shut up?
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Just go away. Why does everyone have to have an opinion on everything?
Why don't people get used to the fact that normal as a word actually isn't a very good word?
It's
because
not.
What is normal?
There is no normal.
What is normal? In a world where you and I are so different, to the point, I learned this the other day, our ears, my ear, is kind of the same as a fingerprint. That's what goes on with your ear. So your ears are completely unique to you.
You have got lovely ears.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hardly see your ears because they're
I like to
so
hide
lovely.
them. I'll give you the big
But
unveil one day.
Our ears are completely unique to us, just our fingerprints. So how can we say that what happens to me is not normal when I'm completely unique and different to yourself or some other person? So why are we in this world where we're, you know, changing how people are brought up and, you know, getting involved? Why is the government as well getting involved in families? You know, that's a really dangerous thing.
Well,
that's fascism.
It's the same as in America with the abortion bill and stuff like this. It's going, these big old blokes are just telling us women what we can and can't do with our bodies.
I mean, there were two women in that decision making. One of them actually voted. They were like pro-choice, and one was pro-life.
Oh.
Yeah. But religion.
It's religion, right? Okay.
Religion has, you know.
Do you think religion has a big standing on this situation as well?
Absolutely huge. And
but why is it not being classed as a hate crime if religion is dictating that actually we don't think that? It's sort of like going, okay, well, we don't mind gays. That's right, we can do that. Trans is just something we just can't get our heads around. We can't do it.
Yeah.
And we can't have drag queens doing story time because that's just far too much. And as my religion, I just don't.
So what I find so hypocritical about this bill in Tennessee is in that part of the world you get these little pageants where little girls are dressed up with makeup and big wigs,
sexualized,
and very frilly outfits.
Yeah.
Some of them, and they've got like a little boob tube on and a little tiny skirt, and they go out and they parade in front of male and female audience members.
Lucrative industry,
very lucrative. But how is that okay? You are literally dressing them up
because you're dressing a girl as a girl.
Well, yeah. Well,
but that's okay.
That's it. Have you ever heard of Madonna's song, Do You Know What It Feels Like to Be a Girl?
Yes.
Great song.
Yeah, really good song.
And it's such a good point. And she says, because, oh God, what's the lyric? Because you think that being a girl is bad, I think is what the lyric goes. And that's what people think. They think that if I show any form of femininity, if I show any form of female trait, then I must be mad. I must be weak. And
because no one wants to be, you know, typically the man is the strongest, you know, is the breadwinner, is the this, is the that.
That's why there are more male suicides. Because men hold so much pressure, so much in them. And then one day they go, fuck, I can't take it. And then they...
But, you know, the women always stay at home. They stay at home, they do what they're told, and they get the dinner on the table by this time, and they are told what to do.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair. So that's why they always think, well, I am man, and I dictate to her.
This whole thing with trans women and women fighting, actually...
What, a women fight with the trans...
Well, yeah, if you look at the damage that J.K. Rowling has done to the trans community... by writing her essay on the platform that she has of like however many million followers she has.
And how much influence.
Correct.
Yeah.
The damage that she's just had has created what people like to call as TERFs, which are women who are transphobic. And actually if you look at the whole thing, actually trans women are very much on the side of women.
Yeah.
Very much on the side.
But like you said before, they're not taking anything away from you.
They're not anti. It's not like trans women are sneaking into your bedroom and stealing your room at night.
No.
And then putting it in theirs because that's what happens.
And then your lipstick as well.
Even when they have gender affirming surgery, yes, they can still not have periods because they don't have the biology of ovaries and a womb.
Yeah.
So they're not taking anything away from you. They just believe that they were born in the wrong body, and that is someone's right.
Yeah.
That is someone's... If you feel that you are born... you know, listen, when I was younger, I used to be teased all the time because of how I spoke. They would be like, you speak like a girl. I was teased by teachers, family, friends.
Oh my God.
And there was a time where I thought I had been born in the wrong body because my voice was so feminine.
Seriously?
So feminine.
So you thought, hold on a minute.
If my voice is feminine, which is like...
What's going on here?
What's going on here?
Wow.
Am I actually... was I supposed to be a girl?
You actually had that thought?
Absolutely.
How old would you have been?
God, I mean, I remember having it from the age of, I was sent to boarding school at the age of 5. So from 5 to about 13.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
You genuinely thought that for that long?
I honestly used to think that I was born in the wrong body because of how I spoke.
So what?
Loved everything about
you?
my body.
Right, okay.
You know,
okay.
when a little boy, you know,
Okay.
a boy.
La 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 la.
Correct.
I have a son, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. So when I hit puberty, I was like, whoa, what's this?
Alrighty.
This is amazing.
Okay.
But for a while, I thought, no, it must be wrong because...
But it didn't make you think, oh, maybe I was born in the wrong body. I want to find that body. I want to be at that point. Right,
because
okay.
for me, the masculine outweighed, I suppose,
right,
the
okay.
feminine.
That wasn't enough for you to think, oh, I need to actually start being referred to as...
No.
You know.
For me, no.
Right, okay.
Because I was like, I've got loads of masculine traits.
Yeah.
I love, doing what I do.
Yeah.
But also, who's to say that there are girls that also like to play in mud? There are girls that also like to rough and tumble.
Football teams.
Doesn't mean that they want to be a boy. It doesn't mean that they're lesbian.
No.
It just means they are who they are.
Do you know what? That is always been the case. You know, it's sort of like, oh, she lesbian.
Yeah.
What, because she plays football.
Correct.
Right, why would that be?
Why would that be the case?
Why does a lesbian have to be, shaved head at the back and really butch? It doesn't. Not everyone falls into those stereotypical gender,
Absolutely. And there was
It's like if a gay man is all like this, darling, and then a lesbian woman, it's like that doesn't mean that that's what they.
I think that's society of typically stereotyping everyone,
isn't it?
There's also this thing which I saw the other day, which is about. So you got gender boxes. So say, for example, we put everyone in a gender box. So you got male, female, trans woman, trans man, non-binary.
I have a question.
Yeah.
A trans man means that they've transformed into a man.
Correct.
Cool.
Trans woman, it means they are transitioning. But once they feel like they have had gender affirming surgery, they will most probably refer to themselves as a woman. They will most probably refer. So look at Dylan.
Yeah.
Refers to themselves as a girl because they believe they are a girl.
Right. Okay.
So it doesn't mean that they have to have surgery.
Yeah.
They
can identify.
They feel that they are
right.
a girl and they want to identify as a girl.
Yeah.
And I don't see any problem with that.
No, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
It's alright.
Sorry.
So if you've got these boxes, so you've got male, female.
Yeah.
And then male and female start having a problem with trans men and trans women. What you're doing is you're taking those boxes and you're putting them above them.
Okay.
And that's when you have boxes above boxes and a hierarchy, that's dangerous because dangerous. That means, do men go on top again? Does that mean that women are now definitely the weakest?
That's exactly right, isn't
and
it?
it's dangerous. And we all bleed the same colour. We all have to pay taxes and we all die. So at the end of the game, king or pawn, we all go into the same box. Why are we fighting with each other? Reason being, culture war, created by the media, created by the government. 100%.
So who wins?
Well,
who will ever win this?
The people who win
who are just at peace.
Well, the people who are at peace win already, but the people who win in terms of a culture war will be the political party that gets into power and then has their pockets lined.
Yeah, it is.
The rich get richer.
It's just...
And they screw over so many of, your everyday citizen, whoever they need to, in order to get power. And majority of the people that screwed over are minority groups. Look at what happened with 9/11.
Yeah.
How people treated people from the Middle East.
Oh my God, it was horrendous.
And it's so bad because...
But it's that you still hear little comments every so often, and it sort of takes you like, whoa.
Absolutely.
Where's that come from?
Yeah. I mean, it's... I remember hearing stories, and I'm sure I most probably did it myself, where I would see someone with a backpack and be like, okay, I'm just going to get off this carriage and going to go to the next one.
Yeah.
it creates these...
But it was a Middle Eastern person holding a backpack.
Correct. So it makes these stereotypes that are actually really dangerous.
No, it's just, there is so much hate in the world.
It's tarring everything with the same brush.
And it's all just going through that, and
it's usually a minority group.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if it's not women, it's, you know, trans women or trans men. If it's not trans women or trans men, it's the gay community. And then it comes into race. Anything
that isn't religious man and woman and here and this and that. Bom, bom, bom. Unless it falls into those sort of boy meets girl, falls in love.
Yeah, I mean, look at interracial marriages. Look at Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when Black Lives Matter, you know, really hit.
Yeah.
On George Floyd's death.
Yeah.
I would go on Facebook and I would look at people's Facebook statuses that would be like, White Lives Matter too, or All Lives Matter. And I'm like, you're completely missing the point. The point is, right now, they need help.
Us. They need support.
They need allyship. They need support.
And to be heard.
Correct. It's not just put
but what about me?
down.
What about me over here? Let's someone, what about me?
We're so ego-driven.
Yeah.
And it's like, what about my problems? What actually are your problems in
Well, my problem's bigger over here, actually. Look, my problem's over here is so much bigger, so my problems matter too.
Yeah.
So, for God's sake. It's exhausting.
It is exhausting. It really is exhausting.
I think with the minorities of the minorities, there are always the horror stories you hear in the press about a trans man abusing children and that get put onto the Daily Mail, and all of the readers, they lap it up and it goes onto Facebook, and you know, everyone starts, it's disgusting.
So if you look at, it's so funny because people be like, the rise of trans people, oh my god, go on to the latest census. So I actually shared it on my Insta story recently. If you look at the latest census, they've got a demographic, I think that's the word for it, map. Where you can look at trans men, trans women, non-binary people who have written on the form that they are who they are. And if you look at it, it's shocking at how small a percentage it is. But the media and the government are making out that we are literally taking over.
No, you are. You're taking over. You're coming over here. You're stealing our jobs as drag queens. I might want to be a drag queen. You're coming over here, stealing my jobs. You get me out of business.
If you look at the thing that's just been passed with the immigrants, I mean, like...
Oh, get me started on the immigrants.
You know, I'm an immigrant.
My dad's an immigrant.
You come over to this country, it ain't easy for you. Let me tell you something.
Come in, please. Sit down. Take a minute just to breathe. You've made it all the way over on these bloody dinghies.
Come in.
Poor thing.
And, you know, work and survive.
Harder than...
Majority of, correct.
You know, these pop-up hand car washes. This white privilege, or this UK-born privilege, we drive our cars to these pop-up, you know...
Car washes.
Because we don't want to wash our own cars, but we'll let them wash our cars because we don't want to do this. But we also wouldn't go to a car wash and say, look, I'm out of work at the minute, can I jump in on your...
Absolutely not.
Wouldn't do it.
Yeah, because that is, you know, if you look at how hospitality is treated in this country, so people view hospitality as like, oh, you know, you're a student.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know,
a little part-time waitress.
But actually, if you look at a lot of people who work in hospitality and the wealth they have created for themselves, the business that should be taken very seriously.
Very seriously. People always spend for entertainment and dining out and things like that. They pay for the experience.
We're so spoiled in this country. I mean, I remember when I was applying for my naturalisation as a British citizen. So I took all my qualifications, my IGCSEs, which, yes, I wrote in Zimbabwe, but were marked in the UK. So that was English, which I got a C in.
Right.
Partly because of punctuation. Spelling was amazing. It was punctuation always screwed me over. And then I took all my City of Guilds qualifications with me, and I also took my myself.
Yeah.
I can speak.
Yeah.
I think I speak quite well.
I think
Pretty
you're
good.
good.
And the lady said to me, I'm so sorry, I can't accept these qualifications. And I went, I'm sorry, on our paperwork, it says any qualifications you have that show that you can speak English.
Yeah.
Because it meant that I didn't have to go and do an English test.
Right, okay.
To prove that I can speak English. So she then said to me that all my qualifications are void because of where they were written. So she literally, in one sentence,
oh my God,
dismissed my whole school career.
Oh my God.
She literally said to me that my qualifications are void in this country because they were written in an African country. And then I said to her, I said, no disrespect here.
Yeah.
You could hear that I can speak English. I don't sound
we are
Zimbabwean.
Yeah.
And I speak better English than you.
Wow, yes.
You have to go and take a test to prove that you can speak English. So off I went to go and take a test to prove that I could speak English. Got to this thing and the person went, why are you here? And I went, your rules.
You're not speaking the language. So,
your rules.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I spoke to her all about hats. And a test that was supposed to take, I think it was like 15 or 20 minutes or half an hour. You basically have to sit in there and talk about a topic that you choose to prove that you can speak English. Was basically wasted and it cost me loads of money.
Oh.
So this whole thing again, whose pockets is it lining?
But we're going to moan and complain all the way through until you say that you're a British citizen.
Correct. But it's still
but then we're still not going to really take it seriously because you work at the car wash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you're a waitress.
Yeah.
And, you know, oh, isn't your English good?
Yeah. It's so shocking. And and it's all created by the media, by the way that the government fools us into thinking.
Yeah. I think the government has really, I think a lot of people have really woken up. I know that's like the phrase at the minute. Wake up and, you know, can't you see what they're doing to you? And actually they really are. They're just so clever. So clever.
Manipulative.
Just, yeah. And you don't even know you're doing it. But you're not noticing it now. It's like years ago, they'd start drip, 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 drip. And then it's too late.
Yeah.
Because you've already spun that yarn and then
the work's already been done, and then the vast majority who will vote for that party have been brain fed, and unfortunately a vast majority of those people that will go out and vote are our parents.
Yes.
Who don't believe what's on Facebook. Who do believe what's on Facebook, you know, and think that, if it's on Facebook, it must be real.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah.
You know, Brexit, I mean, I don't know if you, I can't remember what it's called, but it's an actual documentary about how they got Brexit through by feeding social media channels pictures of immigrants on dinghies landing on British shores. They don't land on British shores. Like, it's so ridiculous.
It is mad. It is mad, and unfortunately it sets the tone, it sets the narrative for generations to come. You know, if I started spouting out all of this awful, negative, hateful terminology and stuff like this to Arnie, he would then filter it down to his friends, and that's why you've got to be so careful with what you say to children, because it forms them. I'm very sort of open with Arnie. I like to think I'm very open with him, but I wouldn't ever want to sort of put something that is my own view onto him too strongly. You know, apart from what's going to keep him safe and what's going to keep him whatever. But I don't think keeping him away from a drag show that is age appropriate or a drag time story time, I don't think that is me protecting him. I think that's
That's
ridiculous.
actually, yeah, I mean, what's the difference between going to a library and there's been a kids' corner and the librarian reads a book to these kids? You know, what is the difference here? Yes, like I said before, I get it. If you go to a drag show with your kids and it said that it's age appropriate, and then you turn up at that drag show and that drag queen is singing a song like I sing, Dildos Are Girl's Best Friend, then fair enough. Be angry at that drag queen and that venue and that promoter.
Yes.
Don't then go and tar everyone with the same brush.
You're not going to take a child to see one of these shows with all the provocative, you know, everything. But those same parents who are complaining about drag story time will still take their child to see a Christmas pantomime, and what features their pantomime dames.
And also will play on the radio songs, or let the child stay up and go on YouTube.
Yeah, where it's
and
just,
you know,
unfiltered.
And like, you know, drag is a form of dressing up. So it's a form of self-expression, and it's a form of dressing up, be it in the opposite sex or the same sex.
But it's also as a character, isn't it?
Correct.
You become
so then, does that mean every single character on CBBS should be taken away?
Well, the Teletubbies, you know, that I don't even know what they're identifying as. Do you know what I mean? You just think,
it's so stupid.
It must be exhausting to be that offended by everything.
Well, what is exhausting is when you are constantly part of a community where you are under a magnifying glass and judged for everything you do. I mean, if you look at
you can't do anything right.
Yeah.
No.
You know, if you look at, for me, I'm a gay man, I'm in an open relationship. I think that my relationship and what I do is, for me, brilliant.
Yeah.
It creates a world that I am happy to live in.
Yes.
Not harming anyone.
No.
However, what comes with that and what society says is, oh, you're a dirty gay.
Oh, no.
Oh,
you're one of those.
You've got to be careful because you might catch HIV.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's...
You probably get people going, my friend was saying this the other day, like, oh, watch your backs. Oh,
all the time.
Steady lads. Oh, cover
all
yourself.
the time.
Just think,
all the time. And you kind of think to yourself, like, hold up. Sorry.
What?
Do I not get a choice in this? Or are you basically saying that I fancy you? Because, bitch, I don't fancy you at all.
None of this.
Like, what is this?
I don't even know what I'd have to identify as to want you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. Wouldn't touch you with a barge pole.
Barge!
So it would happily beat you with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's
put you down the river with it.
Where is this kind of superiority come from?
And
well,
it is that superiority for someone that has that opinion of you. How dare they, again, that audacity of thinking that they can be having this opinion of you. And actually my opinion outweighs your right to be whoever you want to be and however you want to do it.
So the amount of people that come up to me when I'm doing drag and they go, sorry, can I ask you a personal question? And I'm like, here it comes. And they go, are you one of those? Or are you gay?
Oh.
And I'm like, what does it matter? What does it matter what my sexuality is?
Awful.
So I love turning around to people and I go, actually, no,
I'm married.
I'm married, I've got a wife and 3 kids. And they go, no.
Really?
No, you don't. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Because I think...
What do they want to do? Do they want to go, oh, you're my new gay best friend, oh, thank you so much?
If I get asked a stupid question by stupid, I'm going to give stupid a stupid answer to make stupid think. So I literally, like, if you are not even going to open up your mind just a little bit and read and educate yourself, then I have no time for you and I will give you a stupid answer.
But why even ask someone that? Why?
Worse is,
Leave
can I ask you, where do you put your penis? And I'm like...
It depends what time of day.
Why are you obsessed with genitals? Why are you obsessed?
It's because they don't know. We've grown up to not know anything about drag queens or gender or anything.
How can we say in today's world, because we don't know, when if we pick up our phone and go onto Safari, There
Google
is
it.
Google, which is a search engine that will tell you pretty much anything.
I'm going to Google, how do I tuck my bits in?
Well, you would get an answer for that if you said, so there's a thing called binding.
Oh yes, is it like straps?
Where you strap. So you strap down your breasts, and a lot of trans men do that because they don't want their breasts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they have what's it called, a vasectomy? A mastectomy.
Yes.
Mastectomy.
I think it is
It's when they have their breasts taken off.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like so bizarre. It's exhausting. It really is exhausting.
And you've had some very indecent contact while you are performing. I know this is obviously going off on a tangent, but for an industry that people are so uneducated about, then they're almost putting themselves into your realm, into your own personal space, whether you were, you know, in a drag outfit or not. If anyone did that to you and you were just in normal Chris outfit, that would be sexual assault and abuse. And
absolutely.
But because you're on stage and you're out there, they think that it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I remember I was dancing and I was in tights. Now, bearing in mind, a lot of drag artists wear about 8 pairs of tights.
Right.
Depending on the denier, I wear 3 pairs of 100 denier tights.
Wow.
So they're really thick tights.
Yeah.
3 pairs of them.
Beep.
Plus, most probably fishnets to smooth out lumps and bumps. And then I've got my hip pads on, which are basically foam shorts to give me a bigger bum and get me hips.
And so you do really look very good, I must say.
Very much not naked.
No.
Might look naked because you know the colour of the fabric,
yes, of course.
Very much not naked.
Very much definitely not.
I mean, we've seen plenty of people walk down the streets in those nude ski pants,
Yeah.
black pants, jumping jeggings, and you think, hold up, why is that?
Where is that?
Yeah, and then you realise, so very much not naked, and I had my leotard on, and I was dancing, I was doing some floor work, and yes, my leotard was a thong. FYI, for those listening, I was in an adult entertainment venue, and I was dancing.
It wasn't 9 a.m. on a
And it wasn't 9 a.m. It wasn't Drag Queen Story Hour. There were no children there.
Yeah.
And this woman decided that she would poke through my arse cheeks. And I swear to God, I felt her 2 fingers touch my bumhole.
Oh my God.
Right? And I was so disgusted by that. I said, you cannot touch me like that. That is inappropriate.
Did you?
She turned around to me and said, you were asking for it.
Oh my God.
So my reply to her straight away was, you've literally just dismissed every rape victim there has ever been. Oh my
God.
And when I said that, she then went, oh my God, I'm a teacher, I should know better. Yes, you fucking should know better.
She was a teacher.
She was a teacher.
Oh, for goodness
sake.
So,
yes, you should know better. You know, just because a woman is walking down the street and next to nothing doesn't mean she deserves to be raped.
Oh, she was asking for it.
Yeah.
Well, what did she expect
just
looking
I'm
like that?
dancing in the outfit that I'm dancing
Yeah,
in, from a comedy point of view, doesn't mean that I should be touched.
That's horrendous. I can't believe she did that.
Yeah. I mean, there have been bite marks on my arse cheeks. There have been bruises, a handprint bruise on my arse cheek. I have had my tuck pulled. I've been ball tapped whilst I've been in a tuck. It's been horrific.
And are these all ladies that do this?
Predominantly, a lot of them have been. I've had one case where I was rugby tackled by a man. And
was he alright?
Well,
what was his problem?
What was funny about it is I was dressed in an inflatable penis outfit.
Oh.
And he rugby tackled me.
Thinking you bounce or?
Thinking I would bounce.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he thought that. So from that aspect, it looks funny. But in actual fact, I was about to go on stage. He broke my fan, which meant that my penis outfit deflated, which meant that I couldn't do my act, which meant that I was fucked off.
Oh my God.
Because you've broken my costume, which cost me money. You've now ruined my act, which has embarrassed me because it's fucked up the show that I'm in. And it's also hurt me because you fucking rugby tackled me when I couldn't, break my fall.
Oh my God, that's so awful.
So that's been one occasion with a man.
Is this the problem with immersive entertainment? You're not on stage, there aren't barriers, you aren't performing like...
Well, absolutely, and that's one of the reasons now that we have a stage at MuMu. Someone actually emailed a couple of weeks ago saying at MuMu, oh, I really miss the personal interaction that the performers used to give us when it was the old MuMu. And right now, after everything I've been through, being touched inappropriately, I find it very hard to leave my safe space.
Yeah, I can
Very,
imagine.
very hard, because I don't want to step off that stage and being touched inappropriately. So
going to the lines, isn't it?
the other day, I made a dress. It's leopard print, one shoulder,
Lovely.
but it's got my arse showing. I'll never wear that outfit without a thong.
Right, okay.
It's a comedy outfit.
Yeah.
Still doesn't mean you touch. So walked out to do meet and greet. My arse was in front of a table of two.
Right.
Older lady spanked my arse.
Right.
So I turned around. I said, "Listen, I get it. My arse is out.
It's an arse.
But
you want to spank it.
Don't touch it.
Don't.
Just don't. First warning."
Oh, God.
I'll speak to you guys in a minute. Turned around, continued. Her husband then decided to grab his two fingers, put them round my thumb, and pull me back from the table I was speaking to.
Oh, my God.
With my thumb. So, of course, I flipped out.
Do you still have security there?
Yes.
I hope
He then left because he was embarrassed, and she was stood there. But I was on stage the whole time feeling bad for sticking up for myself.
Oh, because you think, well, you always have to come out of character, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to come out of being the fun, cheeky, performer,
Person.
and you have to come back into, right, actually, don't.
Yeah.
It's like telling off a child.
Exactly, and it's even worse when you're telling off an adult, because an adult should know better.
Yeah. But then you know that everyone else has seen you.
And also, just back to the whole ban of the drag bill.
Yeah.
If you look at that restaurant Hooters.
Yes.
Hooters,
oh, yes. Yeah.
Where there are women in bikini tops
Mm-hmm. Short
and
shorts.
topless men.
Oh, yeah.
Waitering, families. Where's...
Well, that's because that man is a man and that woman is a woman. Not a problem with that. Let's see all of the flesh.
And the hypocrisy of it, and also, just to go back to this drag bill quickly, talking about hypocrisy, is the Bill Lee is his name, who passed the bill.
Oh.
Was in drag when he was 18. A lot of these people who are Republicans who are passing these bills and literally creating so much drama for the community. There's one guy, George Santos, I think his name is, a Republican, who used to work as a drag queen. The hypocrisy of these people. And do you know who's to blame for this? Donald fucking Trump.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Because he, stupid, got into power and said to all the other stupid out there, you too can be in power, stupid.
Yeah. Look, I made it.
China.
I don't know if it's from China, but it's from somewhere like China.
Build a wall.
China. Wait there. I forgot this.
The big giant boa.
I don't know, but I got it from China.
China. I mean, it's pretty epic.
I thought I was going to shake my bum like that, but it wasn't quite. It was coming out.
Don't worry, I'm not offended. No children were
Don't
present.
touch me.
No children were present at this
private.
At this private home.
Look at that.
That's pretty epic, isn't it?
Pretty, you have one.
Nice.
I don't have one. Just it like that together. Oh. I'll flick it over.
We should have actually done this whole podcast sat like this.
Come closer to me.
But the problem with it is the rustling might have...
It looks like oh yeah.
Like the audio.
It looks like a hedge.
For those that won't watch YouTube and see this, it is a...
Oh yeah.
It is... What is this?
It's like a garland, a ribbon garland.
A ribbon garland boa. Hence the rustling, like a foil boa.
That is... Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere, is it? That's like...
This is
you know
for
when you found the O2?
Yeah, literally.
That on the bungee cord.
This is for the ASMR.
Oh yeah. We're bringing this to you now. Right. Thank you for joining Storytime.
Literally. Literally.
Our drag time, story time, ASMR podcast.
Putting the wheel to right.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Hopefully.
We have definitely covered a lot of ground. What are your Instagram handles?
So I've got Instagram for drag is at the Madam Official.
Yes.
And Instagram for headwear is at Julian Garner Headwear.
Fantastic. And you are the resident
Drag queen at a restaurant, a venue in Maidstone, Kent called Madam MuMu.
Madam MuMu.
And I am known as the Madam of Madam Sigan, Frank Sigan, and that's so safe.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know what, you're just so knowledgeable and easy to talk to and just wonderful. I love you so much.
Well, I love you too, darling. Hopefully I got the names right.
Yeah.
I'm clearly not that knowledgeable.
I'm going to get cancelled in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you just take that down or we'll get quoted in like 6 years' time?
Most probably. I mean, well, this is another thing that I'm sorry.
Cancel culture.
Is what we say now could affect us in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still waiting for a lot to come back and bite me on the bum bum.
Do you really want to be that person?
Do you really want to hurt me?
Do you really want to hurt me?
And you're an amazing singer.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing singer, costume creator, designer, hat extraordinaire.
Thanks.
Phenomenal drag queen.
Well, we try.
I still got that tiara you gave me. I see it every single day. It's on my mirror.
Oh, lovely.
You gave it to me on the night we met.
There you go.
You were like, Nico, you can have this. I was like, oh my God.
Your tiara.
The
queen that you are, the life of Kylie.
Thank you so much, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Bon voyage. Yes. Oh, you little legend.
How long was that?
That is.
One.